All right, welcome back to the Mad Monks podcast. My name is Aaron.
My name is Chris.
And what is our topic for today?
The greatness of God, everybody.
Oh boy, that's
Yes.
that's
It's a big subject.
it'll take us 15 minutes to get that one done. We'll be in and out quick. Yeah, it's great. We'll be fine.
I got a lot in here.
Yes,
I
you
didn't
do.
I didn't know I wrote this much.
If you're obviously, since we're an audio podcast for now, we'll see if we ever do video.
Yep.
The document that Chris has created for this is good. It's a good length.
Substantial.
Chris does his research, is appreciated, but he also he puts his thoughts out before we record and sit down. So there's a lot to kind of go through and get ready for and read through. So where are we starting, Chris?
So we are going to start with, so to understand what we mean by the greatness of God. So the greatness of God is encompassed in many things,
Okay.
right? You could look at the universe, the earth, the complexity of the earth, the complexity of the planets,
Right.
how Jupiter, for instance, the rings spin in opposite directions at
Right.
every layer. They
Yep.
spin in opposite directions. It's like just stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. How is that an accident? So to give you some reference, right? The universe, especially in the observable
Right.
universe, which is what we can see,
Uh-huh.
is 96 billion light years in diameter.
Okay.
Okay, 96 billion light years.
Yeah.
And think about this. 1 light year is 5.88 trillion miles.
It's a lot.
What's that math?
I don't do math. I teach language arts. I don't.
Yeah,
Even know
I
where
don't
to
do math.
Start with that number.
I do computers. I don't.
Right.
So if you, that's an unconceivable number. Like I don't know how you can even understand
Right.
the magnitude and the expanse of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny to me also how now I'm not bashing on atheists.
Right.
I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But I am going to say they will say that there's no evidence, but yet if we can't create it,
Right.
right? If we can't, everything we see on earth is
Yeah.
created.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
We create houses, we build structures, we architect things.
Mm-hmm.
God is the same way. We're made in his image. He does the exact same thing we do, just what he's doing
Yeah.
because we're made in his image. So to me, that's huge evidence. That's a big piece of evidence, but there's a lot more than that, and we're going to get into a lot of this. So that's what I'm.
Well, and I think to your point, when you talk about like the universe and
Yeah.
the size of the universe, so the Milky Way is just a part
100 million light
of
years,
the universe. There's many more galaxies,
trillions.
and there's so much out there. So, but here's the other part. So when we look at the stars,
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing history. We're seeing those stars as they
That's
were
right.
millions of years ago.
That's right. Yep.
And so as time passes, that the skyscape and the stars in the sky
It's phenomenal,
may
man.
change as time goes and whatever happens.
Yep.
But I think it's easy to argue with the absence of God, because before, obviously, when the Bible was written, obviously, and in the continuing ages of man, we thought we were alone in the universe. We didn't think there was anything else outside of Earth. We saw stars, but we didn't know
Yep.
what that meant
Yep.
particularly.
Exactly.
And so the argument in some folks would say is that, well, the idea of heaven, that it's above us and hell's below us and all that. And so when we got to the point where we were doing space travel and we were going up into the heavens, there was no heaven up there. There was no God. There were no angels in the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that particular interpretation may be a little, I don't want to call it naive. Maybe ignorance is the better way to say that, because there's a lot of things that we do know from the Bible. There's a lot of things and facts and figures that we are aware of.
Mm-hmm.
But there's things that we don't know. Like, we don't know the location of heaven. Is heaven an actual, like, physical place that we would be able to go visit? Or is it a place that is on the spiritual realm or on the spiritual plane that's beyond our human understanding of where it is?
We're going to get into that too.
And I think that what you should think about
Mm-hmm.
is the complexity of space, and the mass of space,
Mm-hmm.
but also how we have come to discover. And I'll argue this until I'm proven wrong, which I don't think I will be. they talk about like, oh, well, we've always thought ourselves as alone in the universe, and then we got into space and we found all these planets and we found all these other things. And what that did is it showed that there's so much more out there. But the thing is, I think we are alone in the universe.
I do. I agree.
I don't think now there's conversation about like UFOs, like those balls of light that the military has been cataloging for years and has been shown on video.
Yep.
And I have a belief in that, and I have a theory on that. I don't know if it's concrete. It's just a wild theory because again, I don't know everything. But you look into space, and nothing from space is talking or looking back.
It's not.
So I think the vision of us, the future vision, be it Babylon 5 or Star Trek or even Star Wars, I think we're alone in the universe, and I think that's intentional.
I think it is too.
But we don't ever want to ascribe something to God that isn't verifiable. So we're being very, very general here. But the possibility exists that God put us here alone, and we're supposed to look for Him. And
I think that's the point.
Humanity doesn't like to, stop searching, which is why we keep going. We keep trying to get to Mars and doing all these things. And I guess, that's, you can trace it back to the Tower of Babel, right? The tower was built to heaven.
Yeah.
And God was like, you're getting too close. And then He made them all speak different languages. And then you have that's the story of how language became what it is, which again, there's a lot of conversation for some of that stuff where it's very much like, okay, well, this is more of a tale versus an actual incident that happened, or there's elements of truth to the Tower of Babel that was built, and whatever. So we're not going to get into that, but that's the pieces and parts. I think is that we have always wanted to go beyond ourselves.
We do,
and God has had to remind us in the past about that. And I think that we keep trying. Like Elon Musk's starships are. Oh yeah. They're working on it, but they always have something going wrong. They're still perfecting it.
Yep.
And I'm not here to suggest that God is preventing Elon Musk from getting his starships working.
Not.
But it is. We went to the moon in extraordinary fashion. And we got really good at it, but it was because we were going to the moon. The moon is, like you said, relatively close in time and space. When you talk about Mars, you talk about anything else, that is an extraordinary amount of time to get there. And so I think for a lot of things, we think because we've created these science fiction stories where we can do warp speed or we can do hyperspeed or whatever, when scientifically that doesn't really work.
It doesn't pan out.
We haven't figured out what warp drive would look like, because I don't think it's feasible. I think it's an invention that we've created to be like, oh yeah, but it's like, no, it's not possible.
It's a fairy tale,
right? And I think that's the part where we've talked about this before, both on the Computer Gamer podcast, on the other platform we talk about, where we've plateaued in our understanding, and we don't like that. We want to be able to explain something. And to your point, the greatness of God, it's hard. It's complex and it's simple at the same time.
Yep, it is.
And so we don't want to not know. And so what we keep doing is keep trying to explain it, or investigate it, or interrogate it in as many ways as we can.
And I'm bad for that.
Right.
I really am.
Yeah.
But I'm no different than anybody else. I have a great curiosity about things.
I think that's it's an okay thing to be interrogative of the Bible and the scriptures and God and those absolutely interrogate it, but you have to come to a conclusion. You can't just be like, oh, I don't believe it because I just don't think it's real.
Yeah.
The reality of it is that the greatness of God is so massive and so great that, as we've spoken about in previous episodes, it takes a certain amount of faith to get there.
It does.
You have to build a bridge of faith to get to that final conclusion. Because so
you can look at the evidence, and the evidence is really good, but in the end, faith is what matters.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry I took us on a tangent, but I'll put us back on the road.
That's pretty good to do too. Let's see. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look at the origin story, the first part of Genesis, and I got all the chapters and all that junk in there. So it's Genesis 1. 1 through 4 says this: in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. And I believe this is actually the NIV.
Okay.
I did this for you, Aaron.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
NIV until I die.
Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Now, I don't know what that means. I have no, in context of it
So,
was dark. That's,
I think so. What I do with this is I reflect back on the Holy of Holies, right? So in the temple,
Yeah.
there was the Holy of Holies where the Spirit of God existed and was contained and was present. And I think, and again, this is very theologically stretchy, so just buckle up as we
Yeah.
kind of do this. Is
Yep.
if you really want to get into what might be like an amateur impression or a novice impression here, is that when we talk about the Spirit of God hovering over the waters, that's the presence that's in the Holy of Holies.
Yeah.
That's what in the temple was partially
Yeah.
in there. And so before obviously all the things that happened, the Spirit of God was covering everything.
He was.
And it was
That's the way I see it too.
and it was ever omnipresent, ever present. It was in and around everything. And later in time, obviously, we have the Holy of Holies where he is put into the area behind the curtain where for
Yep.
sacrifice and stuff. And so I think that's how my brain thinks about it.
That's
Now
yeah.
there's probably like books deep on this subject, more or less, that we haven't
Oh,
really
I'm
gotten
I'm
into.
sure. Yeah,
But from my mind, because the greatness of God is so hard to grasp
it is.
without like a theological degree, which neither of us have.
No, we do not.
But that's what I think about when I think about that. I think about the Spirit of God was
Mhm.
all encompassing,
That's the way I see it too.
because again, he was always there and forever and ever. Which we won't even get into the origins of God or what people think how God became God. That is too much of a heady conversation for today.
Yeah, there's a lot to that one.
And the Spirit of God was hovering over this. Okay, what's next?
And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day.
I think it's interesting if you really get
Jeez.
into it, like if you imagine this both as a literal and a metaphor, because there's been a lot of conversations
Oh,
about the Genesis creation
There
story.
has, yep.
You know, was it over the 7 days, or was it over 200,000 years divided in epochs and all this other stuff? And I'm just like, okay, look, I'm not a scientist. I don't pretend to be a scientist. I don't even play one on TV. I think you can interpret with what you will, as long as you still hold true that God did it. Because if you look at it as God created light, that means he created the sun. Like he was just like, okay, here's the sun. Boom, that's the light. Because that's what our light comes from. Our light comes from the sun.
Did you notice what he said though? He said, let there be light.
Yeah.
He spoke it.
Yeah. Created into existence, and we had light. And then the darkness. So we're talking about the orbit of the transition. So when the sun appeared, when the let there be light, that was let there be the sun, and the sun then created the concept. So before that, if you think about it, obviously according to this, and if we kind of do some literal and metaphorical translation, Earth was just a ball of nothingness with God's
That's what it was.
Spirit resting upon it.
Yeah.
And so there was no sun, there was no growth, there was no life. It was just a ball. And so when he started to go, okay, well, let's get to work here. Light, boom, dang, dang, ding. Those that began the transformation process of, okay, well, now you're going to talk about photosynthesis. You're going to talk about all that stuff. So there's a conversation about like, oh, well, if you can take different positions on this, and the position of the literal is, okay, he created 7 days, that's God. Okay, cool, great. We accept that. We're good. Move on. There's also the idea of like this took time. This took over 200,000 years or whatever when we talk about prehistoric times and what happened and how did it happen. There is an equal argument for that, and I think it pans out as well. So that's the thing about the early Bible, about the Old Testament, is a lot of interpretation around certain pieces and parts. They allow you to kind of go, okay, well, this would fit within this, because you talk about science and the Big Bang, right?
Yeah, true.
Science says there was a Big Bang and life just created. And there's been a lot of discussion and argument in Christian circles about, well, the Big Bang can also be God. Like, let there be light, bang, let there be form, boom, boom, boom. Like things, and that could have been the case of what created life and what gave us the uniqueness of our stars. Because here's the thing, you can also imagine, if you want to take the argument of zooming out beyond the Milky Way, that all that stuff, God created it. And maybe he was busy working on that before he got to us, or maybe he worked with us and then he went and created the rest of the universes. I don't know, and that doesn't detail it in the Bible, so we can't be like, well, we know for certain this happened. We don't know, but we can kind of fill in a few spaces and spots and say, well, imagine if there were no stars in the sky. Like, that would be weird. Like,
It'd be black.
it would be black.
It
So
would be weird.
God was like, well, you probably are going to need some things to look at. And again, God is omnipresent. God's in all time. Like, he knew what we'd be doing in 2000,
True.
whatever, how many years, whatever. And so he's like, okay, cool. Bow, I'm going to make you stars. So you're going to want to go for the stars.
Mhm.
I want you to have your creativity. I want you to have your journey to find knowledge. Because without that journey to find knowledge, we wouldn't get penicillin. We wouldn't get all our modern medicine. None of that stuff would. Because nothing would exist if we were not looking to the
Yep.
stars and going, "What's next? What can I find next
Yep.
in this world?" So I
Very
think
interesting.
the Big Bang Theory can be connected to Christianity and can be co-opted and even
Good.
adapted because there's enough evidence there to say this is possible. And I think that's the beauty of the Christian story is that science, in a lot of ways, we're not going full Christian Science. Sorry, Val Kilmer. We're not going full Christian Science. We're not, but we are. I think I would argue that there is some scientific evidence to suggest that, there's some Christ in our science and there's some science in our Christ,
Yep.
and that's okay
It is okay.
as long as you don't go full Christian Science because that's not a good place to be.
That's not okay.
All right, continue.
So, in the passage according to the Scripture, in the above passage, according to Scripture, God created light by speaking it. Now, we as humans know that we cannot know that we know as humans we cannot speak something into existence, but
Yeah.
there are people who will say that you can. Yes. Now, have you heard of these people who will say, "Well, you just speak something"?
Oh,
and-
manifestation.
There you go.
Oh.
So, yeah. So now, I look at this in this way. If somebody is saying that they can manifest something, they are saying they are a little God,
Yeah.
and for that, that immediately goes out the window because.
So, okay. So here's the thing.
Here we go. Yeah, let's go, Aaron.
I strongly disagree with manifest destiny. I think that you run
do
the
too.
risk of
Yep.
saying I have the power and I control God.
Exactly.
I can channel God
Yep.
into what I want. Because that's a lot of what you see in the prosperity gospel in the Word of Life community is we believe God will do this in our lives. We believe God will do this. We believe God will do this, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, you can believe all you want, but he's going to be like, did you ask me first? Did you ask and petition me for this?
Did you ask me?
Or are you just trying to box me into an ATM and say, give me money, God, give me money? Like, that's not how this works.
push the button?
Push
yeah.
the button, enter in your PIN code, and you go, ooh, look at all the money I got. That's not how it works. So manifest destiny as a literal thing is not, I don't believe, theologically sound.
It
Because
is not.
God does not say, oh, I'll just give it to you. You don't have to ask for it. From my memory of the Bible, and obviously if we were to do a deep dive, it's never just do it and it'll happen. It's no, you need to ask for it. You need to fall on your face and ask for these things. You need to petition me with prayers and all these things.
Because you're trusting Him.
Right.
To
Now
help
there's people
you.
who say, well, you just ask and receive. But yeah, that there's qualifications because you can't
It's
just
not
ask
that
for a Ferrari and get a Ferrari.
No,
So in the literal sense, I think manifest destiny is a very dangerous religious
It
concept.
is.
Especially in Christianity. But I think a lot of people have been sold on that on that idea because sometimes what will happen is they'll say, oh, you just manifest your destiny. And so you start manifesting, praying, and doing certain things. And coincidentally, a month or two later, something will happen that's good. Oh, I got this money for this and this. When the explanation is, well, no, that was going to happen no matter what.
yeah,
But because they take it, oh, well, the correlation is causation, and causation is like, oh yeah, it's good. Yeah. No, that's not how that works.
No.
But because we are so easy with our confirmation bias, we'll just be like, yeah, that was it. And it was like, that wasn't. So literally, manifest destiny, I don't agree with it. I don't believe it. I think it's dangerous.
I don't either.
However, here's the thing. As a metaphor, sure.
I agree.
If you and this is what
You have to believe it first.
Well, it's not even belief. I would say it's not a matter of belief in manifest destiny. I would say it's a matter of practice. And what I mean by practice is I mean living your life according to Christ in every single way. If you treat people kind in every interaction as possible, if you avoid the drama, if you avoid the tea, if you avoid the beef, if you avoid all the things that get us messed up with people, if you strive to live every day as Christ asks you to, if you are living a life of Christ, if you are following his example, there will be opportunities for you because you are following God in every way. Now, as much as it sounds like prosperity gospel is all like, no, pay us money, give us your money,
and God will bless you.
And God will bless you.
Yeah.
I'm not making that argument.
No.
I'm making the argument that if you live your life according to Christ and it's not just like for a week, it's a whole thing, a whole lifetime goal.
Yep.
There are opportunities. Now, notice I'm not saying guarantees. There are opportunities that may come to you because of the way you live your life.
That's true, yep.
And the way that you follow Christ that may give you an opportunity that would not have happened had you lived a life of an unsaved person who was a jerk to everybody and whatever, and who wasn't following Christ. Because there's a reason why prosperity gospel says, oh, well, if you follow Christ, he'll bless you. Because there are things in the Bible like, hey, you follow the life, God will bless you. But it's not a matter of pay us money or do the right things. It's if you obey and are in obedience to Christ, then Christ will. There's a return on that.
There's a reward for that.
But it's not specific. It's not detailed.
Could be spiritual.
It could be spiritual. It could be an instant, and it could be a completely different way of what you think it might be. And that's what I say when I think manifest destiny is an idea, a concept, a metaphor. It is not a literal, but it I think if you use it in a way where it helps you go, you know what, I will live my life according to Christ, and I will see that change in my life. I will see that change in people around me. And I will continue to ask God for these things that I need, or ask God petition Him for this stuff. And if it doesn't happen, then He just says no, and that's okay.
That's okay.
But again, you also have to realize if you manifesting destiny as a metaphor, you're not manifesting your destiny. You're manifesting Christ's destiny for you. Because His will is what's going to rule overall.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the other part that I was kind of trying to, in my brain, I was trying to get the connected there. So yeah, you're going to manifest a destiny if you, as a metaphor, you're going to manifest a destiny if you pursue Christ. But that destiny and that will is not going to be your own.
It's not yours.
But it's going to be the one for Christ's benefit, for God's glory, that's going to happen. So I think we get that screwed up because we talked about this earlier when we were at breakfast and we were driving.
Yep.
You can't be a narcissist and follow Christ.
You cannot.
You have to leave the narcissism behind.
You do.
And manifest destiny as a literal concept, prosperity gospel, word of faith movement, the narcissism, it's baked in. It's a feature. It's not a bug.
It's a feature, right?
It is absolutely programmed in. They're not going to push out an update to fix it. It's an absolute, that's the truth.
That's the public release.
And it's no longer. We're not an alpha or beta. No. We're in the big one. It's the full release.
Yep.
So you have to take a step back and go, okay, cool. But what does manifest destiny mean to Christ? Because I've always said this: any concept you have to run it straight back to Christ and filter it through Him.
You do.
And go, okay, what does this look like? And I think I even forgot about it for half a second while I was talking through it here, that manifest destiny is not manifesting your destiny, it's manifesting Christ's destiny for you. And that is uncomfortable because that means you're not in control. And God's greatness is not about the control of yourself and your life.
It's His control.
God's greatness is about God's greatness.
Yep.
And I think that's something that we've forgotten in the mainstream big church, big C church.
True.
There's plenty of churches who are working it and are talking about humble service and are doing whatever. But as a whole, as a culture, we don't know what it means to manifest God's destiny for us, His will for our life, because we're so social media that we're all about ourselves. We're the main character syndrome.
We're selfish.
Right. Well, we are not the main characters. Guess what? Christ is the main character.
He is the character.
We are the side players. We're the support staff. We're the
support staff.
We are the support staff. We're the stage crew. We're the ones making sure everything's. We should be working to bring Him glory through all the work we do and make that show look good and make it show the difference in what we do and how we do it. The metaphor falls apart a little bit because you don't want your show to be perfect, but here we are. Anyway, so my point is that we're the show crew. We're the staff. We're the front of house staff. We're the back of house staff. We're running the restaurant. We're making sure everything's going right.
Yep.
We're showing you how it's done. We're living that humble life, serving people.
Yep.
Being what we need to be to the communities.
Opening doors for
opening
people.
doors, like being kind, like you did it this morning. I sometimes forget about that because I'm just in a rush to get where I want to go.
It's baked into me. I don't know why. It's just I've always been that way.
It's a thing. So anyway, it's yeah, manifest destiny, it's not a literal real thing. And if someone tells you, oh no, I manifest my destiny, you just be like, okay, sure, nod and smile, moving away.
It's built in selfishness.
Yeah, it's a
is.
built-in narcissism.
Yeah.
It starts with selfishness and then it transforms into you upgrade to narcissism.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps going. And so it's like
It's a ball rolling down a hill, man.
Well,
A
and the
big
thing is,
snowball.
people forget, like, we're not here for ourselves.
We're not.
We're not here for anybody else but Christ. And we are his servants. We are to bring him glory in all that we do and bring him honor in all that we do. And
Yeah.
that's the beautiful thing. But I think we don't talk about that in big churches much anymore in the last 10 years.
We don't.
I grew up in that church up until 2001 to 2000, I'd say 2010. That was my
God,
church.
9
The church,
years.
a church. Well, no, from whatever from 92 to 2010.
Oh, that's
The
a
church,
long
the
time.
churches I was involved with were always talking about it, and I think the churches that I attended, the ones that are still around, are still doing that, but they're in the minority. They're not able to break through the noise because everyone's like, oh. So I don't know. Yeah, I just the too long didn't read part of the portion of this podcast is manifest destiny as a literal idea is wrong. It's not
It is.
acceptable. It's Christ would reject it.
He already has.
Yeah. The metaphor, however, of living your life as a manifesting his destiny for you, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And that's what will give you and make a difference in your life and open up opportunities for you to make choices in your free will to
Yep.
pursue Christ further and to glorify and honor him in all that you do. That is God's greatness for your
Yep.
life.
It is.
Nothing else. And if anybody's telling you anything else, they're lying and you need to run.
You do need to run. Yes. So
There's my thoughts.
okay, that's some good
And
thoughts.
that's all I'll say about that. Bringing in some Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, I like Forrest Gump. So I wanted to bring this up too. God is not ruled by our rules. So the rules that govern our universe or us are not. They don't govern him. He's
Yeah.
outside of the rules because he created them. He is infinite in understanding, knowledge, and all wisdom.
Yep.
And so think about this in your lifetime. I remember when I was a little boy, and I remember the love that I had for him.
Yeah.
And the trust. He was like my father. He was my father.
Yeah.
I had a great dad,
Yeah.
excellent dad, but God was my father.
Mm.
And I always made that a clear distinction with my dad is like,
Yeah.
you're my dad. He is my father.
Yeah.
And my dad was fine with that because he
Yeah.
was a Christian too.
Yeah.
And so, and I always had great reverence for him, but I didn't really understand his greatness until I got older.
Yeah.
And I look back and see the path that he laid out for me and how I would sway here and he would bring me back.
Yeah.
And I would sway there and he'd bring me back. And he did that, Jesus forgive me, way too many times, but
Yeah.
he did. And I think that is his greatness.
Mm.
That is, I think, one of the, now it's kind of selfish because I'm speaking of it in terms of myself,
Right.
but the way that he, even if we sin over and over and over again, there is still forgiveness.
Mm.
Now, we have to change.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, y'all.
Yeah.
You have to change. You can't live in sin and follow him. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You have to have a heart of repentance. But I do believe that he is just, and he will forgive you if you ask him.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I look at my life and see all the areas where he guided me, my wife,
Mm-hmm.
that is huge, man, because I accidentally met her. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even, my dad said to me, he come home one night from work and he said, son, there's a girl I think you need to meet.
Mm.
I had no idea who he was talking about.
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking for a girlfriend. I was like
Yeah.
27 at the time.
Yeah.
And he said, I had 2 girlfriends before that, but I didn't like either one of them. So, yeah, that went out the window.
Tell us how you really feel, Chris.
Well, one of them I liked because I wanted to help her.
Yeah.
Her dad had died like a week before I met her, so
Oh, okay.
I really wanted to help her.
Right.
That was more out of pity than anything.
That's not a good way to have a
That's,
relationship.
that's not a good relationship, no.
That's a terrible way to start a relationship.
But I did help her, and
Okay.
that's what mattered
Okay.
to me. So, but when I met my wife, when I first saw her, it was like slow motion, dude. Everything like time kind of stopped.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing. And I told my dad, I went home that night and I said, Dad, I'm going to marry her.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa,
Whoa,
son.
whoa. Let's slow the roll.
But in the end,
Yeah.
I knew her for 3 months, and we were together after that, and we've been together ever since.
Nice.
That was over 19 years ago. So when you look at it in terms of that, our relationship has been a blessing to me.
Yeah.
She has changed me. She's helped. God has used her to change me.
Yeah.
And God used my children to change me. My job I have now,
Yeah.
that job has changed me immensely.
Yeah.
It's just, I know his greatness and his love because of the things that he's done in my life.
Yeah.
That's how I know he's great.
Yeah.
And so scientists have proposed the universe is infinite and ever expanding. So if it's ever expanding, then it's infinite.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
What kind of power would it take to control everything we see, not only in the sky, but also in each person's individual life? This is where I think also God's greatness is very prevalent, because he is able, think about a God who can hold the universe in the palm of his hand,
Yeah.
every action, every interaction of anything at any given time, in any period of time,
Yeah.
he controls.
Yeah.
Not only that, we pray to him and he hears each and every one of us.
Yeah.
Not only that, but every interaction with the birds of the air,
Yeah.
the fowl, the beast of the field,
Yeah.
he controls all of it. Think about that junk.
Yeah.
The sun stays in the sky, it rises and sets. Well, it doesn't rise
Right.
technically.
Right.
We're spinning around it, but
Right.
it technically for us it rises and
Yeah.
sets. It's a cycle that has went on for thousands of years. We don't know how long.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's millions, but I do
Right.
believe it's tens of thousands.
Yeah.
And I think that when you really think about all of these interactions happening all at one time, and the way that he is able to guide each and every one of us so specifically,
Yeah.
that's greatness.
Yeah.
That's I like. There was a rap song one time. Yeah, we're going to get into a little rap.
Oh, okay.
I like how it was Andy Mineo specifically. He said, "You say you're the king of rap, but where's your kingdom at?" That's the thing, is God can say that he's king because he is.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Well, that comes back to the conversation earlier. We are not the king. We're not the kings. We're not the queens. I mean, yeah, there's songs about Audio Adrenaline and other artists like kings will be kings, but we are servants to the king.
We are servants to the king. That's
and
right.
We are stewards of his creation.
That's right.
So I think it's important we remember that we are not the king. We are not the queen. We're not anything. We are at his service.
His beck and call. That's right.
We are humble servants to the one high priest, and that's important.
But think about that. That's a great. You're serving the king of the universe.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah,
What an honor that is, man.
it's huge.
That's not a bad thing.
No,
man.
no, it's not.
And so let's see. So next we're going to go to the cycle of life. I already went through that. So on the discussion of heaven,
Yep.
this is where I believe, have you heard of the fourth dimension? A lot of scientists have mentioned the fourth dimension.
Explain it to me like I'm new to it. I think I've heard of it, but
Well, they believe that there's a fourth dimension that's unseen.
oh, so like we talk about like spiritual warfare,
The spiritual warfare,
spiritual
exactly.
realm and stuff like that. Okay.
So I was listening to Mel Gibson when he was talking about the Resurrection, the new
Yeah.
movie he's working on.
Okay.
He said he's got two scripts. He's like, one's down to earth. He
Yeah.
said the other one's like a drug addict fueled.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I want to see because, well, and here's why. Okay, if you think about,
Please explain.
okay, if you think
You
about,
just let the words drug addled have appeared on this podcast for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
well, that's what Mel said. Those are his words.
Oh, okay.
So he's kind of describing how. So, for instance, if we look at this from a perspective of, if we are that important, right? We have all. It's our souls were created by God Himself.
Yeah.
He created us with His own hands.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
You have someone who was also created by God, who turned away from God
Yeah.
and drew a third of the angels with him. Now
Yeah.
think about this. What is the one thing he wants to do? He wants to take every one of us
Yeah.
straight to hell with him.
Right.
That is his objective.
Yeah.
And he will do that by any means necessary. He doesn't care how
Yeah.
he does it.
Yeah.
He doesn't care how many he wants to take as many as possible. So if he can deceive you into believing certain things, right?
Yeah.
Prosperity gospel.
Yeah. Word of life.
Word of life. Think
Scientology, Church of Science,
any of those, man. There's deceptions everywhere.
Mormonism,
Mormon, I mean,
all the fun stuff.
Jehovah Witness.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of them.
Yeah.
And if you think about these things and you really think about it long enough,
Yeah.
you start to see a pattern that Satan will do. He does things in a certain way, right? He deceives by making it look
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah.
So it's a deception. It's a fake.
Yeah.
He on the surface it looks real, but
Yeah.
when you really dig in and look at it, if you know the truth, you can spot it.
Yeah.
And so that's where I believe in the spiritual realm. I remember there was a verse in Scripture where it's talking about this angel that was going to come to the aid of a disciple.
Yeah.
Right? He says, but I was withheld for 21 days.
Mm.
And he said, I was fighting Satan.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Satan held up the angel for 21 days. I mean, he was defeated, obviously. He was
Right.
he was beat up.
Yeah.
It's like how much of that I kind of see it like this.
Yeah.
Like in the unseen realm, now I have no proof for this,
Right.
but I'm pretty sure it's there. I have no proof.
Yeah.
I have no evidence.
Right.
But for me, it's just my imagination goes cray-cray. So if you think about this, imagine that the angels and demons are fighting all around us and we never even see it.
Yeah.
The wars that erupt, think about this, the
Mhm.
wars that erupt, you have a man that is in a house, he's drug addicted,
Yeah.
a child that is getting beat.
Yeah.
What if those are wars that are
Right.
happening between good and evil?
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
So I don't know where I use this phrase often. I don't know where I stand on it. I
He's-
know where I'm sitting, kind of.
He's sitting on the fence.
I don't, because it's very dangerous to ascribe
It
certainty
is.
to something that
It is.
there's no biblical
There isn't.
proof for the specificity that we're talking about
Yep,
here.
there isn't.
And I think there's a line that I walk with this because I don't want to give too
Mhm.
much certainty to something
Yep.
that believing in that would allow me to be open to other beliefs.
Oh,
that are
yeah.
probably not the
Fa-
best.
facts.
So it's always very, very important that you measure what you allow to believe
Mhm.
about things that are not of God and the good stuff.
Yep.
Because you end up opening some doors and things that get through.
It's
you're just
true.
like, "Woo, okay, that may not have been a good decision.
It's true. Yep.
So I think there is. I was raised primarily in a Foursquare church in my childhood.
Yep.
And they're very charismatic
Yep.
to a point where it got uncomfortable, both in my childhood church and then here
It gets scary.
at a local church that we left.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an idea within the Foursquare church and charismatic churches about spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
And you need to pray against spiritual warfare. And I would sit in agreement that spiritual warfare exists.
It does. Yep.
As to how far and what shape that takes, I don't have
We don't know.
I don't have a definitive answer.
Yeah.
I've been taught, and as a part of the
Mhm.
Foursquare Church and the charismatic churches, that is what you were describing does occur.
Yeah.
But there is no evidence
There
is
isn't, no.
in the Bible that suggests that is a regular, absolute physical occurrence
That's
in
true.
the fourth dimension.
Yep.
But it is, I think, that's the part of God's greatness that we can't even begin to fathom.
Yeah.
We think we can imagine it. We can imagine
No.
what we think, but the reality of
Yep.
what is actually going on, or what is actually is or is not happening, that's when it stretches credulity, and we have to kind of accept that
It does.
We don't know, and we may never
can't,
know.
We can't prove it either.
No, we can't.
We
And
can't.
I think that's the part that a lot of some charismatic churches ignore. They ignore that rule of, oh, well, we should just accept that it's an unknown and have the faith that God's got it, versus, no, we're going to come up with a plan and a place and a plot.
No.
It's like, okay, where did you get any of that? And
Yeah.
how did you find that? And where is that in the Bible? And what are you doing? So there's I mean, there's elements of the Bible where you can take those pieces and
Yep.
and
Yep.
pull it, but to make it wholesale a part of the belief
No,
is dangerous.
you
And so
can't do that.
I think yeah, there is.
It's my imagination running away.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And yeah, you got to be careful because
Yeah.
it would be easy. Again, you probably lean into like a charismatic church. It'd be easy, like, well, that just happened because of spiritual warfare, versus taking responsibility
For
and
your
and
actions.
accepting that
yeah.
there might be some brokenness in some people around you or in you or
Yeah.
in your church that are causing or allowing these things to happen. Is like no. You don't get to shift the blame onto
No,
to
you
spiritual
don't.
warfare.
Yeah,
You don't get to
yeah.
delude yourself or project your problems onto spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
Because that's not taking the part that humans own of what's happening or what has happened or will happen.
Control our actions.
Yeah, I
And
always,
this, I'm going to remind people, this is only my opinion.
Yeah.
I do not say this is truth because I don't know. I have a vivid imagination, man. I do.
And I will say that I'm higher on my confidence that what I'm saying is true.
Yep, I agree with you.
Because it doesn't. I filter it through Bible. I filter it through my experience. I filter it through what I've been taught from like
Yep.
strong epistemology teachers, epistemic, whatever.
Something like that.
Something like that. Teachers who have done their research, who have done their theology, and are able to give receipts on what they've done. That I've never heard that taught in a serious fashion.
No.
That is just like, well, yeah, this is what happens. Like, here's the proof, and it's like,
There is no proof.
It's dangerous to start believing stuff that's outside the realm of human understanding when it comes to the fourth dimension. And I think,
Yeah. I don't know that there is. I don't know what that even means.
I think it exists in a way that we don't quite understand and
Yeah.
never will probably understand.
We probably won't.
And
No.
that's okay because I don't want to, because there's a reason why the angels tell everyone don't be afraid when they show up, because they scare the living heck out of people.
There's a reason, man.
There's a reason why
Yeah.
they say don't be afraid
It's true.
every single dang time. So that's where I stand on that.
And I do agree because
Or sit on that. I should say sit. I'm not standing
Yeah,
on that yet.
we sit on that because I mean, in reality, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because if we're not trusting Christ, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We have to trust. Our role is to trust Him
Yeah.
and to follow Him. That's our role. We can't.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of cults were generated and created by people creating their own
Right.
illusions.
Yeah.
That illusion, that's a good word
There
for
you
it.
go. There it is.
So, and then next I want to go into, so that's what we think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work. This is Psalm 19, by the way.
Okay.
Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech. They use no word. No sound is heard from them. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. In the heavens, God has pitched a tent for the sun. It is like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heavens and makes its circuit to the other. Nothing is deprived of its warmth. Man, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's David seeing God's glory
Yeah.
in the skies. That's what he's looking at in awe. It happens to me all the time. Let's see. Let's go to, and I wanted to go into this too. The smartest person on earth. I was listening to him. He's supposedly the smartest person on earth. Has the highest IQ. Blah blah blah.
Are we talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No, it's not Neil deGrasse. No, this is a regular guy.
Yeah, because I got issues with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, you and me both. This guy's IQ is 200 and something.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I don't know what that means. I don't think it really matters, honestly. But
I mean, it speaks to intelligence. I think it
It
speaks
does.
to ability to reason and think and process. And
yeah, he's good at that.
Yeah.
Yep. And so they asked him. They said, "Do you believe God is real?" And he said, "Absolutely." And he said, "Here is why." So he starts listing off all these things, and in the end, you have people like that have a really high IQ. Then you have people like Dawson,
Yeah.
whatever his name is,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
or Neil deGrasse Tyson, Richard Dawkins.
Yeah.
And then you have people like John Lennox who are extraordinarily smart,
Right.
but have the faith element too.
Yeah.
And I like John Lennox because he just speaks the truth, man.
Yeah.
He has a huge knowledge of science.
Yeah.
God has blessed the man's. He has a great ability to think through things.
Yeah.
And I believe that God gives every man a measure of intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
But Neil deGrasse Tyson, he is considered to be one of the smartest.
Mm-hmm.
I think people consider him to be one of the smartest.
But he's also a jerk.
He is a jerk. He's arrogant.
Yep.
And he is very harsh toward Christians.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you can't be that darn smart, man. You can't be rude to people.
I think the thing about Neil deGrasse Tyson that frustrates me is that he has a lot of intellectual power. Like, he's an intellectual thought. He's got a lot of intellect.
He does.
Very smart guy, very smart scientist. But this is what sometimes you have with really smart people is they have the intellect intelligence, but they don't have the emotional intelligence.
They don't. Oh, that's true.
When I speak to emotional intelligence, I mean their ability to relate to everyone who disagrees with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to your point about how Neil deGrasse Tyson treats Christians or talks to people of faith or talks about people who don't believe everything that he says is true.
Yeah.
There's no compassion. There's no understanding.
There
there's
isn't.
There's no like, oh, well, okay, I get that. Or, yeah, you don't have to believe what I believe. Like, I might have a scientific theory that I've proven or this, whatever, but there's still room for additional pieces. No, it's I believe what I believe and what I know, and you're wrong, and why do you, it becomes that practice of narcissism of, you're wrong, I'm right, I'm better than you, you need to shut up and sit down, you little tiny little ant. And
that's how it kind of feels, don't it?
It does.
I've seen that.
I don't, that's not, if you were to look at a Christ model was he confronted through love. He's like, okay, well, here's what my rules are. Here's the thing. Go and sin no more. Mm-hmm. He wasn't like, you're a stupid lady.
You're an idiot.
You're dumb. Why are you keep going back to that man? You're stupid. Everyone boo this girl. Oh, loser, whatever. Jesus never spoke like that. He was like,
did.
You've had more than several husbands. You've done these things, but my love for you remains. And go and sin no more. You are forgiven.
That's what Jesus does.
No more.
Yeah.
And that's when you look at the difference between somebody who has an understanding of people and someone who doesn't have the understanding of people. And I mean, God loved Neil deGrasse Tyson. I mean, Jesus loves him.
He does,
but his manner and his approach is not. It's not one of love. It's not one of kindness. It's not one of understanding. It's no, you're wrong.
My way is everything.
I'm the right one, and everyone who believes what I believe are cool. You're not. You don't believe it. You're not cool. And there's a lot of people who just dismiss him out of sight now because they're like, I don't want to listen to him because he's told me that I'm an idiot before as a human being, and I'm done with listening to him. And so he's a very polarizing figure, I think, in a lot of ways because
I think it's because people are so interested in space now that he brings an element of knowledge.
Yeah, and he has a lot of knowledge.
I'm
not faulting.
Yeah,
that.
he does.
Guy knows his business, but
without love, he has nothing.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of what I also wanted to go about is even with all the knowledge he has, he knows nothing.
Yeah.
In comparison to God, God's knowledge is unlimited.
Yeah.
His wisdom is unlimited. Ours is limited and finite, and that's where I think the big comparison is that there is no comparison. And Neil, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've listened to him.
Yeah.
He's very smart.
Yeah.
And there's lots of others. I mean, John Lennox is very smart. Richard Dawkins is smart.
Yeah.
But smart doesn't mean good.
Yeah.
Smart is not loving.
No.
Nor is it compassionate.
No.
And so that's kind of where I think God's greatness also in my life is I don't think I'm necessarily smart per se.
Yeah.
I think that I'm very curious.
Yeah.
Like God has put a curiosity in me to explore and to try to understand things.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I have learned an immense amount of stuff. So now one of the other greatnesses that I wanted to go into was the nation of Israel.
Yep.
Do you remember 1947?
Yep.
Israel became a nation,
Yep.
or 48. I believe it was 47 or 48. I believe it actually was 48.
Yeah.
And so if you think about this, God prophesied about this in his word thousands of years before.
Right.
What would he have to do from that point of time
Right.
to the point they became a nation? How would he adjust the path
Yeah.
so that they become the nation that he said they would be? That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's wisdom, man. That just his. I don't even know how to describe his greatness.
Yeah.
I thought about this when I was trying to build this, and I'm like, how am I going to do this?
Right.
Like, I'm a finite being. I can't
Yeah.
do this. I'm like, Lord, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But I tried very hard. So if you really want to see God's glory, just look around you.
Yeah.
His glory is in everything that you see. The human being that you're talking to,
Mm-hmm.
the person you're looking at, the person you married,
Yeah.
look at them very carefully. Look at how their personality is. Look at how each individual has their own personality,
Yeah.
how they interact with each other. Look at the animals that God has given you. Look at the house you have, the neighborhood you're in.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the things that he did for you.
Yeah.
That's what I really want this podcast to be about, is look at the things he has done for you.
Mm-hmm.
When most of the time we don't even see these things, like the things that he does to make a way for you
Right.
when you don't even see it. The job that I got right now,
Yeah.
I did not see this coming.
Yeah.
I literally thought that I would not get it.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not smart enough for this.
Right.
I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
But I'm not good enough, but he is.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we need to acknowledge his greatness, in that he has the whole world in the palm of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And if we just trust him
Yeah.
with our lives, he will do what needs to be done
Right.
through his power and his understanding.
Yeah.
And we don't have to do anything but trust him. That's all we have to do.
Yeah.
It's really, really simplistic.
Yeah.
And I want to finish with this. Knowing that God is real is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
The demons even know that. There has to be an acknowledgement that he is all-powerful and all-knowing,
Mm-hmm.
because he is, that only he has the answers, all of the answers.
Mm-hmm.
To trust him with my life and give all power and authority in my life, submitting to his will and not my own. That is how one can be changed. Salvation is submitting my life to him and coming into a redeemed relationship with him. He sent his son to die so that the sin debt that I owed and I could not pay, however, Jesus can pay it and already has for all eternity. Think about these things, everyone. If you need prayer for anything, leave us in the comments. I will be more than happy to pray for y'all.
Right. Well, and I think to kind of close it out is God's greatness is all about him.
Yes,
It's
it is.
nothing to do with
It
us.
has nothing to do with us. Yep.
We are merely his creation, and we are there to worship him and to have a relationship with him.
Yep.
I think. Well, I shouldn't say that has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with us, but it also has nothing to do with us. Like,
It's kind of both.
it's two sides of the coin.
It is,
Like, God's greatness is in humbling yourself
Mm-hmm.
and giving up of yourself. So
Yep.
you no longer, like, what you want and your desires and your selfish narcissistic needs,
Yeah.
those go away.
They
So
do. Yep.
in that way, like, that's when that's what you give over. That's what you give up. You
Yep.
turn yourself over to him. And I think that's the hardest part of Christianity in the last 20 years,
Oh, it's so difficult.
is because people don't want to. I want to control things. I want to be the main
They're
character.
selfish.
They're self-centered.
Yeah.
They're selfish. They're arrogant. They think that they run this, and it's like the media and the social media and Facebook and all these things. They've convinced you, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. It's convinced you that you are the main character in your own show.
Yeah.
When the truth is, you are a sideshow at best.
At best. Yeah.
And when you step into Christ and you become a part of the Christ, well, now you're going to a whole nother theater, and
Yep.
then you're working together in community
Yep.
to craft and to show the world who Christ is through your daily actions, through your
True.
humble service,
Yep.
through your church activity, through your
Mm-hmm.
tithing, through all those things. Again, it's such an unusual. It's weird to say this in 2025 because in 2001, I think the church had a pretty good whole handle of things. Like we were doing all right,
Yep.
and people were in churches. But in the last 25 years,
Yeah.
people have left the church because the church represents that you're not in charge. You have to put on the yoke.
You have to submit.
You have to submit
Yeah.
and to obedience, and
Yep.
that's not something that modern people in America want to do in 2025 or even 2020. They want to run their own life. They want to be a girl boss. They want to be a man, like a big boy.
Mhm.
Like, oh, I'm an alpha male. Guess what? God doesn't want any of that. He's like, I don't know. Stop that.
He will turn his back to stuff like
He'll
that.
be like, no, you're not. No, that's not Christ.
But
That's,
I'm one of those people.
right.
I'm a little bit rebellious. I really am, and I don't know. And I've said, God, you need to help me with this because I'm rebellious, man. I really am. I don't like it.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing is that God's greatness. That's
Mhm.
that's the challenge.
Yeah.
To fall at His feet and to accept
Yeah.
what He wants for you
Mhm.
is the ultimate surrender.
It is.
And that's what people don't like.
They
That
don't.
is a message that if you were to go on the streets and start, because what you'll see is people will use Bible verses and be like, well, what would Jesus do? It's like, well, okay, in this situation He would do this, but then you want to be like, hold on, let's apply what would Jesus do to every other situation in your life. You're cherry picking Christ's message to try and prove a political
One
point.
piece.
You can't. Christ cannot be divided. He's not
That's right.
he's not a pie to be cut apart and
Nope.
then used in different parts of the
It's
argument.
not.
You either have it's either all or nothing with Christ,
It is.
and that's the thing that a lot of folks who use His words and use His teachings to try and prove a political point or to prove a cultural point with whatever.
Yep.
It's like that's not how this works.
No.
That's not how Christ is all or nothing. It's not a Pez dispenser. It's not a cash machine. It's not a toy store
No.
aisle.
It's facts.
It's the toy aisle. It's all or nothing. You're
Yep.
either all into Christ or you're not. And if you cherry pick, that suggests that you don't really understand Christianity as a whole.
Ooh.
And that's the thing is
it's a fact.
people don't like you.
Yeah.
You can't be like, okay, well, I'm gonna love is love and Jesus loves. It's like, yeah, He loves, but He doesn't love the sinner. Well, no, He loves the sinner, He doesn't love the sin. And so Jesus loving you means eventually He wants your sin to go away. He wants you to go
Facts.
and sin no more.
Facts.
So he's
there
not,
we
he's not
go.
just be like, okay, cool, yeah, keep doing these things that
That was going to be the next podcast.
yeah. Well, we'll preview that, I guess. So yeah, it's the crux of Christianity, or you could say the crucifix of Christianity, is the crucifixion. It is that idea that he died for you, but the turnabout is you have to accept Him and accept His rules. I mean, people
Yeah.
talk about, the unconditional love, and it is. There's unconditional love from Christ.
There is.
But it is bent towards the idea of you have to honor Him. You have to
change.
to change. You can't
Mhm.
be your old who you were. You have
Yep.
to become the new, the baptism, all these things.
Mhm.
All of this stuff is built towards building yourself up in Him and making
Mhm.
yourself open and available to whatever His will and destiny for you
Yep.
might be. And that's not easy because
No.
people don't want to do that. And I think in the last, again, I keep saying this, but in the last 20 years, maybe the last 15 years, or even worst case 10 years, the social media main character syndrome has taken over, and it's people left the church. And we talked about this before the podcast, the God-sized hole in all of us.
Yep.
People try and fill it, and they can't fill it, and the people are starting to come back to the church slowly but surely because they spent 20 years trying to find that thing, that round peg to put in the square hole.
They don't work.
It doesn't work. You've got to find the square
Mhm.
peg to go in the square hole, and that's
Right.
That's how it works.
Yeah, and I mean, sin is it's our biggest problem.
Yeah.
It is our problem. It's what separated us from Him.
Yeah.
And I've learned. So like, I want everybody out there to take one thing
Okay.
that you struggle with. For instance, let's say that it's your washing dishes for your wife.
Yeah.
Something simple.
Yeah.
Doing the laundry. I do the laundry and I do the dishes, but I didn't start that way.
Right.
I took little small things and I changed them.
Yeah.
And I was consistent. So dishes, I wash them every morning.
Yep.
Clothes, I love doing the clothes. So that I love to vacuum too. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit different dude, but
Yeah.
I took like washing dishes every morning, that way, because my wife gets up at like 3:30 in the morning
Okay.
and she goes to FedEx,
Yeah.
right? Okay, she's getting up at 3:30 in the morning, and I can't take 10 minutes to wash the dishes in the morning, so she doesn't have to do them.
Yeah.
That's where it came in. I took my selfishness
Yeah.
and threw it to the side and said, okay, I'm going to humble myself
Yeah.
and I'm going to do this. And every day I do it.
That's awesome.
And so it starts with little things like
Yeah.
that. You do little things.
It's little pieces.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of our closing is that it's not impossible.
It's not.
But it requires you to take the steps to get there.
Yep.
And you'll find that the more you do the things you need to do in humbling and service and
Mhm.
Christ,
Yep.
the better it will be. And again, it's not a manifest destiny kind of thing. It's you're manifesting your destiny for Christ's will for your life.
Yep.
That's the thing is that it's not about your destiny. It's about His destiny for you and His will. And
That's right.
that's how Christianity works. So
And that's how great he is,
here
too.
we go. Anything else you want to add in there before we close?
No, I'm done. That's all I got. That's all I got.
And that's all.
I thought you want me to come up with something cool,
No,
but
I wasn't looking for. We're not cool. We're just we are cool, but not like in the way like.
Not
"And
like
this
that."
has been the Mad Monks podcast here on the podcast. Whatever.
yeah, we don't do that.
No, that's no point. I get too
we're,
tired.
we're simple.
Yeah, we're simple men.
Yeah, we are.
There's a Leonard Skinner song to listen to on your way out
Simple
of this
man.
podcast. Simple man. All right, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Chris.
This has been the Mad Monks podcast. We'll see you on the next one.